Okay, everybody, my laptop says 7 o'clock, so we'll get rolling. We are all present except one board member, Rosemary Earl, could not be here tonight. So welcome to the 2025 public budget hearing and meet the candidates night. We're going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. So if you can stand, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America, the republic stands one nation, God, so liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is the budget process and remarks on the budget, and I will do that. Okay, I'm pleased to discuss the proposed expenditure plan for the 2025-2026 school year with you this evening. The Board of Education, the administrative team, district faculty and staff have all collaborated to develop this proposal. And I want to start by thanking everyone who contributed to this process. During the budget development process, our primary objective was to support our programs while being financially responsible and proactive in long-term financial planning. Consequently, we've made significant efforts to uphold our long-standing tradition of excellence at a reasonable cost. The proposed budget for the 2025-26 for the fiscal year 2025-26 reflects a spending increase of 2.23%. This will result in a tax levy increase of 2.16%, which remains below our allowable cap. During the budget development process, the district's mission and vision played a crucial role in prioritizing initiatives that support our longstanding sustainability goals while also creating a safe, innovative, and engaging learning environment. To achieve these objectives, the district proposes the following. For long-term sustainability, this year, 5 faculty and staff positions will be eliminated through attrition. Since 2008, a total of 54.1 positions have been eliminated, representing a 25% reduction in staff. Through personalized, innovative, and engaging learning, the district is committed to maintaining high-quality educational experiences by supporting our evidence-based literacy program for pre-K through 3rd grade. We aim to increase participation in career technical education, early college career academy, P-TECH, New Visions, and other pathway programs. We will also continue to support our high school career exploration internship program and offer a robust selection of high-level academic opportunities, including 8 advanced placement courses and multiple college-level classes. To better serve students with disabilities, this proposed budget includes enhanced special education support and introduces a Pathway to Independence program for students in grades 7 and 8. This initiative will bridge our elementary life skills offerings and help us retain more students within the district. We will continue to invest in student instructional devices to ensure that all students have access to up-to-date technology and regular technology replacement cycles. Additionally, we will replace instructional, athletic, and building equipment as needed. By safeguarding the community's investment, the district will continue to invest in facility maintenance to address various building repairs and ensure consistent upkeep across our facilities, preserving our infrastructure for years to come. For the capital outlay project, the proposed budget includes a transfer of $100,000 to the capital outlay project. This transfer will focus on facility maintenance in the junior-senior high school building. This important investment will address various building repairs that are necessary to ensure the facility maintains a safe learning environment for our students. The Board of Education would like to express its gratitude to everyone who contributed to the budget development process. We hope that the district will continue to receive strong support from the community, which has played a vital role in the success of the Lake George students over the years. For more information on the budget, please visit our website at www.lkgeorge.org. The next item on the agenda is remarks on revenue, and Mary Ann McKenzie, our Vice President, will make those remarks.
Okay. The Board of Education is pleased to present a budget proposal that adheres to the tax cap while providing personalized opportunities for all students to become lifelong learners, leaders, and global citizens. The district has considered the importance of establishing a sustainable budget for the future. By being conservative with spending, planning carefully, and managing finances prudently, the district aims to minimize the tax burden while maximizing educational opportunities for students. Maintaining a stable tax rate and reducing the tax burden on residents is a priority when developing the budget. Lake George has one of the lowest tax rates in the county compared with schools across the state. Property owners contribute 86% of the operating support. For the 2025 through 26 school year, the district is proposing a tax levy increase of 2.16%, which will generate an additional $475,000 in property taxes. Based on the current 2024 tax information, a $300,000 home in the Lake George School District would experience an increase of about $32, which is just under $3 a month. State aid accounts for only 10% of the district's revenues. Despite the challenges and controversies surrounding the governor's budget proposal, the district will receive the same foundation aid as in previous years for the 2025 through 26 school year. The district also faces additional hurdles due to contractual obligations and significantly rising premiums. To help alleviate the burden on taxpayers and balance the budget, the district plans to strategically use its fund balance and reserves. Specifically, for 2025 through 26, the district will use $467,077 from the appropriated fund balance and $150,000 from appropriated reserves, which together represent about 2.34% of the district's total revenue projection. In conclusion, as your school board, we are committed to managing our resources carefully to continue fulfilling the community's vision for the district and its students for generations to come.
Thank you, Mary Ann. The next item on the budget is, on the agenda is the budget presentation, and Bonnie Hart, our school business administrator, will present that.
Thank you. Okay, so the last couple months, we have broken the budget up into 3 separate parts: non-instructional, instructional, and undistributed. And tonight, we're going to put it all together with the final pieces. Some of this will be repetitive to what Katie and Mary Ann already summarized, and then there's additional details in this presentation. So when we are looking at a budget cycle and considerations, we are presenting a fair budget that prioritizes students' needs and safety first and foremost. The budget is aligned to our district core values, supports programs and initiatives, demonstrates fiscal responsibility. We're implementing an equipment and maintenance replacement cycle, fulfills our contractual obligations, but most importantly, preserves small school community with big school opportunities. This slide gives us a summary of the overall budget. We are looking at a 2.23% increase, which is just over $568,000. The tax levy is $22.5 million, with a tax levy increase of $475,000, which is a 2.16% increase, just under our allowable tax cap of 2.17. So we're below the allowable tax cap of $3,734. The budget highlights. We're allocating a significant amount of money into our building and grounds operations and projects. The elementary school, we are looking at replacing the vestibule window for security so it doesn't slide open. It's a window that has a transaction slot. We are replacing the hallway carpet in the entire school at the elementary school. Finishing the HVAC project, we did the majority of it through our COVID federal grants, but there were still 7 units through offices that needed to be completed. And looking at the cafeteria equipment, replacing some very old equipment there. And we have 5 boilers at the elementary school, so we are phasing in 1 boiler each year, not the entire boiler, but the controls. So we want to phase this in before they quit entirely. At the high school, we're looking at repairing the cupola, a computer server, and the gymnasium backboards, center court, so that's 2 on on each end. The 7th grade cluster, we are looking at a renovation there. That may be a multi-year phase-in, looking at making that a multi-purpose space where future board meetings would occur there as well. And some classroom carpet replacement. These are big ticket items. We also have an increased number of students going to outside programs next year. This is for our students with special needs, as well as our students attending BOCES vocational trades, early college, high school, New Visions, International Baccalaureate at Queensbury. We are required every 5 years to complete a building condition survey. New York State requires that. One of those unfunded mandates, but it is required, and that does guide our future capital projects. They will come in start this summer and look at every bit of property and buildings that the district owns, and evaluate them and prioritize what things should be done, what things are centered around safety needs as well as potential wants. The equipment replacement cycle, we're looking for our building and grounds, a Ventrac tractor with many accessories for our athletic fields, as well as sidewalks, snow broom, vacuum, so on and so forth. An oven at the cafeteria in the elementary school. Replacing our van, we do have a replacement cycle for all of our transportation vehicles, and an ice machine at the gymnasium. We do have a capital outlay planned, as said, for here at the junior senior high school. And we're looking at, as everybody is, increasing overhead costs, athletic and co-curricular costs. Areas where we look to save money, we utilize BOCES services as much as possible. That is our biggest state aid ratio that we do receive in return. We use New York State contract pricing when possible. Cooperative bidding, we will bid when necessary, as well as BOCES will utilize those bids. We utilize BOCES with health insurance, workman's comp consortiums, gas and electricity. We have implemented a new insurance plan for Medicare for our retirees, which is a cost savings plan with great benefits, as well as transitioning many of our employees and retirees to more fiscally responsible plans with the same great benefits. We have been fortunate to get some grants. In this picture, you could see one of the grants, an equipment grant through New York State. We received, and we were able to get 2 salad bars and a deli cooler through those grants. We have, as mentioned previously, staff savings. We have eliminated 5 positions through attrition for this upcoming school year for a total of 54 positions. Now that is all staff, all departments, not just instructional staff, since 2008. And next year, we are looking at utilizing our current staff for services, in particular, the life skills program that Katie mentioned, as well as our ESL or TESOL position, which we have in the past utilize BOCES for that service, but we are able to utilize our own staff for that. Teaching English of a second language. We're required to present the budget. We do it through 3 meetings throughout the year. This is, the state requires us to present the budget into 3 components: administrative, program, and capital. You could see underneath each title there's specific details. I tend to summarize it and say administrative component is for the people and services that run the system. The program component is for the people and services that directly supports our students. And capital is for people and services for our building and repairs, to run the building and repairs. So you could see the breakdown of the 2.23% within each of those components. This part of the budget, previously we would do instructional, non-instructional, undistributed. Undistributed was benefits for all. Each of these components takes the people involved in those and associates the allocated benefits with those. So if the teachers are in program, under the program component, then their benefits are in there. Building and grounds would be under capital and their benefits. So that's a big difference of what you saw in the 3 previous months. Here's a pie chart of the 3-part component, where almost 75% is the program component, which is very common. Our administrative is the smallest, 11%, and our capital, again, the buildings and services, is 14%. When we talk about revenues, I have it broken into 5 categories. Our largest is the real property tax. That is showing a 2% increase, $475,000. Our pilot stands for payments in lieu of taxes. And again, that is an estimate. We never want to go too high on that. We base it on what we've received. We never know what the improvements are for the pilots in the next year. So, but we do know we will at least get what we got the previous year. Other revenue is typically interest earned and some other possible tuition or homeless aid, which is not always predictable because you never know what way that's going to go. We have state aid, which is given to us. If that is broken down, there will be a future slide for the state aid. And then our appropriated fund balance and reserves. And here's the pie chart. Again, you could see real property tax makes up just over 86% of our overall budget revenue. Here's the history of the property tax cap over the last years, the allowable in the middle column, and on the right column where the district came in. You could see we try to be below the allowable tax cap, certainly, or at the allowable tax cap. The local impact on a $300,000 home with a proposed budget would be, depending on the township, $40 a year or $32 on 40 in Queensbury. That the percentages you see there is the equalization rates or the assessment values. Queensbury and Fort Anne were reassessed just last year. You may remember earlier in the fall, we talked about that. And then the monthly impact broken down. So we're looking anywhere from $2.69 a month to $3.49. This is based on last year's assessed values. Here's the slide I was talking about with state aid. We did get a slight increase in foundation aid, even though we, anticipated without a state budget yet, but that has not been controversial. And then expense aid. Expense aid with our state aid is exactly what it sounds like. It's based on what we spend. So when we are given the figures or the budgetary amounts, we need to know, my spending is much. Was there an outlier one year? For instance, did we spend more at BOCES to purchase something that we wouldn't purchase on an every year basis? So we have to allocate that and look carefully at that and not over budget on that or over predict. Here's our budget history in dollars over the years. You could see the impact there, the 1 year of COVID, certainly. But we are pretty consistent, especially percentage-wise, as we were pre-COVID and where we are now. Expenditure allocations, if we break it into 4 categories, we have people, which is salary and benefits, services, which is broken down to BOCES, contractual services, maintenance, professional services, and tuition. Equipment, materials, and supplies is one of our smallest, and then interfund transfer, where we need to take our money and transfer it to our debt service, which is our, for lack of better terms, our loans for our bus bands and our capital projects. Our cafeteria fund, we do transfer money every month to help sustain that. Special aid fund is our students with disabilities that require extended school year. Only 80% of that is funded through the state, so the district has to pay 20%, but it's not in the general fund. And then certainly our capital outlay. We are required for the budget hearing to show what our balances were for our reserves last June of 2024, and there is a thorough document available. It went through audit and finance and approved by the board back in the fall. That gives you details about what each of these reserves are for. Each of them have certain restrictions for what they can be used for, and if they're fully funded, and what the starting balance was and ending balance. Our capital reserve is the reserve that was voted for by our voters and approved to help with our capital projects, primarily our bus garage. We are able to utilize this reserve first before we have to go out and get loans and pay the interest on bands and then eventually a bond. So that is how much still exists in the reserve collecting interest. We have a repair reserve, which we have utilized this year. We hope to replace those funds because you never know when you have an emergency. Our tax cert reserve is what our potential liability is. We did receive many Article 7 and SCAR petitions last year with all the reassessments, so that could be higher this coming year once we get advice from our legal counsel as to where we can be on that. Workman's comp reserve, unemployment, disability insurance reserves, those are all smaller reserves, but we are able to have them. The insurance reserve is specifically for student devices. The last 3 reserves are our larger ones. Employee liability accrued benefits is money that we are able to put in reserve, collect interest on that as well. And that is for when employees retire and they are compensated for their unused sick time, years of service, vacation time. You have to plan accordingly for that. ERS is employee retirement system, and TRS is the teacher retirement system. In the event the budget does not pass, we have a few options. We could put the same budget up for a second vote. We could put a revised budget up before voters, or we could adopt a contingency budget. If we adopt a contingency budget, there are certain expenses that need to be removed, such as equipment purchases and non-contingent items, and the state has a list of those. And that would maintain a level tax levy. And a budget vote is May 20th at the elementary school from 11 to 8. And there is this QR code, as well as the link does offer lots of resources online that not only explain some specific parts to the budget, but also looks at accomplishments and highlights a lot of our course offerings and activity offerings for students. Are there any questions?
Bonnie, thank you very much for, as always, pulling together a presentation that is there's so much complexity to the budget, and you break it down and give us charts and make it very understandable and make it really pretty. I love the variety of pictures, and I loved what you did in the very first slide where our the LG hexagon had our, the, pardon? The core values, yeah, wrapped around. I was like, well, that's clever. So thank you for making it beautiful and understandable. Yeah, I love it, love it, love it. Does anybody have any? Yes, isn't that awesome? I love that. Okay, well, thank you. If nobody has any questions, we will move on to the next part of the evening, and that is public comment period. Do we have anybody who has a public comment or question? If you are joining us on virtually and you have a comment or a question, you can email us at boe@lkgeorge.org. The board and John Luthringer, our superintendent, will get that email and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Since we do not have any public comment, we will go into the next item, which is adjournment of this meeting. So the Board of Education of the Lake George Central School District hereby adjourns the May 6, 2025 public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next part of our evening, now that we've adjourned from that meeting, is the Meet the Candidates Night. So we have 3 candidates this year. We have 3 open positions and 3 candidates. So our Meet the Candidates Night this year is same as last year, but a little different than other years. We don't have the League of Women Voters with questions. They're going to give us let us know a little bit about themselves, and then we'll have a time to mingle with them and get to know them on a even deeper level. So those candidates are, we have Mario Fasulo, who's sitting to my left, and Marianne McKenzie to my right, and Mike Fish, if you wouldn't mind standing up. We have Mike Fish out in the audience with us this evening. And we'll take a few minutes to get the tables rearranged, and then we'll roll into having them speak to us. So thank you.
So as was shared earlier by our board president, Katie Bruning, we're so excited to have our 3 candidates here for the running for the school board at our Meet the Candidates night. So at this point, we'll turn it over to each of our candidates to share a few words about themselves and their goal of running for the Board of Education. And we'll start with Mike Fish.
Good.
There we go. Good. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. So good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Fish. First of all, I just want to say thanks to everyone for having me here tonight to speak in front of you. And I just want to take a moment also to say thank you to Sarah Barton for keeping me honest and on track with my application the last several weeks. I appreciate that. So I am a lifelong resident of the area, grew up over in Argyle, graduated there in the 90s. And then found myself at the Albany College of Pharmacy in Albany, graduated from there in 2000. So I'm a licensed pharmacist, and I spent about 20 years working for Hannaford Pharmacy in pharmacy operations between New York and Vermont. At one point had about 75 or 80 different drugstores under my purview, responsible for all aspects of the operation, staffing, profit and loss, processes, standard practices, et cetera. Left there about 2.5 years ago and went to work for a company that was owned by Hudson Headwaters Health Network. That company, that was an LLC of Hudson Headwaters, has since been sold and now work for a company called Pillar Health. My current role is the Senior Vice President of Client Success for Pillar Health. We support clients with a federal drug pricing program called 340B. And we have clients in about 40 states, and I oversee the account management team at that company. I have a wife. Her name is Bree. She's a second grade teacher at the elementary school here in Lake George. She's been here for about 18 years. And I also have 3 daughters in the district as well. Annie in 10th grade, Clara in 8th grade, and Lillian is in 6th grade. And I do the morning routine. So next year I'll have all 3 teenage daughters riding to school here to the big school. So excited for that. I'm excited to be a candidate for the board and looking forward to the opportunity. I have a lot of family in the area that, I think is pretty envious of Lake George. It's really kind of almost like a private school. And that's one thing that I look forward to, kind of supporting and helping protect that mission going forward. So I'm looking forward to being a part of this board, highly functioning board. I've had a chance to speak to several members over the past several weeks, and they've all been very supportive of their mission and what they've done and accomplished a lot in the last several years. So I'm looking forward to that. I think leading with, collaboration and just being fully transparent with the community and continuing that level of engagement with the community and all the stakeholders. I'm looking forward to contributing to that. I think that's all I have. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Ann McKenzie, and I'm seeking a 3rd term on the Board of Education. Thank you for being here tonight, and I think I like to start by telling you a little bit about myself for those of you who don't already know me, and speak a little bit to some of the mindset that I bring to the board experience. To start off, I'm originally from Messina, New York. I'm a physical therapist by trade. My husband, Mark, and I lived in Vermont for many years. We had both of our children while we lived there, and we moved here to the Lake George School District back in 2008 when our youngest was entering kindergarten and our older child was entering 2nd grade. They're both now Lake George graduates and lifelong learners. As for me, myself, in addition to physical therapy, I provide private in-home care, and I'm also very involved with the Adirondack Welcome Circle, which is a very active local group that supports the successful resettlement of refugees in our community. As a school board member, I've had the honor of being the vice president of the board for the last 5 years and the chairperson of the policy committee for the last 6 years. And I've participated in several other committees as well. I consider myself an advocate at heart, whether it's as a mother on behalf of my children, a clinician on behalf of my clients, a support person on behalf of a family member, a friend, or refugees, and a school board member on behalf of students and this school district. I would like to share a few of my perspectives on the board experience that have really fueled my purpose over these last years. First is I view this school as a hub of the community. It's not just any hub, it's where our children are, our most prized treasure. While our students are here, they are very busy developing and forming, and that is a sacred space. And I do not take it lightly as a board member, the responsibility to safeguard students and to safeguard their experiences and to safeguard this precious institution where so many people dedicate their whole lives in service to children. Also, as a board member, I want to make sure that whatever comes our way, can be addressed in a healthy and sound way, where we can, receive events, grow and move forward and be the better for it. I believe the key to that is ensuring that we have sound processes and policies in place. I understand the important role of a board member as the whole board as being a liaison between the school and the community. I value every single person in this community. I honestly relish the opportunity to receive people and learn their perspectives. And it is very important to me that everyone in this community has the experience of being welcome and being treated with kindness and respect. And lastly, I frequently reflect on, how every single person in the community, in this district, has a role or a stake in our overall success or the success for each student. And, when everyone is working together, offering up their individual strengths, their unique voices, we are able to make the absolute best decisions in the best interest of students. The best decisions can be made. And it allows us to continue to grow and reach higher and become more exemplary. And for my part, I have found that to be very exhilarating, and I just am wowed by it. So for all those reasons, I have been very honored to serve as a school board member for these past years, and I really appreciate the opportunity to continue in this role. Thank you.
It's a lot there. Yeah, can't. My name is Mario Fasula. I'm running for my second 3-year term. My family and I moved back to the area where my wife and I grew up about 8 years ago. And I brought 3 daughters into the school district, and and I tell people all the time, it's the best thing we ever did was A, moving back, and B, moving back and getting them into Lake George. It's the experiences they had, the opportunities they had, I know they would not have received at other schools in the area. And we moved around a lot as the girls were growing up. They went to 3 different schools before coming here. And I know they would not have received those opportunities in the much larger schools they were going to in Massachusetts. So when the opportunity came up to run for the board, I wanted to be able to give back, to give what the school gave to my kids, just an opportunity. So we have a lot of board members that don't have kids in school. And some people are like, well, why? Well, because the school gave to us and we want to give back. And being on the board, I'm in the Buildings and Ground Committee, which is interesting now with the bus garage project going on. And I'm also on the Audit and Finance, which is every year watching the budget process and the work that goes into it and the meticulous planning that keeps us where we are is just incredible. And that's what a board member will see that the general public does not, is all the behind the scene things. And it's not just the money and the committee and this and that, but the amount of the commitment and the passion that teachers, administrators, everybody that works for these kids has every time. The first time I met Rosemary, and I'm sorry she's not here, I thought, is that a real amount of passion that she has for the school? And it really is. And you know where it comes from as you work in the school and you meet the people that work here, you know where it builds from. And it's not just Rosemary, it's a ton of people that are like that. So I'm thrilled to be able to run again and try to give back to the school as much as I can. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mike and Marianne and Mario for your words. And we look forward to your participation on the board moving forward here. We're excited to have you be part of the board process, and certainly that will be official on May 20th at our budget vote. So thank you again. That does conclude our Meet the Candidates night. We look forward to having some refreshments. So we'll stop there and have some time to mingle. So thank you so much.